Well, everyone, trying to do a little bit of work on the second gen Cummins today, and I only have a 3/8 ratchet to get these dang lug nuts off with. Uh-oh, our ratchet broke. What are we gonna do? I just so happen to have a spare in my back pocket. Let's try this one. Oh no! This one did the same thing. I guess that brings us into today's video. Can we repair a ratchet with JB Weld? We're gonna find out. Ooh, damn it. There you have it, everybody. Two identical Harbor Freight ratchets, broken in the same way with little to no force. But that's not why we're here today. We are here today to see if we can repair a broken ratchet with JB Weld. And I also have JB Quick Weld because I want to see which one works better. Which is why we have two identical ratchets here, and I tried to find two identical sockets, but I could only find two 16mm sockets.
Why did you let us do that? It's so bad!
So we're going to see if we can get these things to take any kind of torque on these ratchets with JB Weld. Now, I am probably going to cut this off, because I feel like this is going to give us a little bit of an advantage, and I don't want an advantage. I want it to rely solely on the JB Weld because I really want to know what the total strength of the JB Weld is. So, let's get into that. All right, guys, so immediately off the bat, I can already tell you which one I think is going to win, and that's going to be the actual JB Weld because of the higher strength that it is producing according to JB Weld. So we're going to use the gold socket is going to be the JB Quick because it is yellow, and the silver socket is going to be regular old JB Weld because that's the one I picked for that. So, I'm going to go ahead and get some of this stuff mixed up for you guys, and we're going to get these sockets on here, and we're going to let them cure for a full 24 hours overnight, because a full cure is reached in 15 to 24 hours. I'm not sure if that'll make it out on camera, but you get the idea. 4 to 6 hours to turn to a dark gray color. We don't really care about any of that. This stuff sets in 6 minutes, and I believe sets or is fully cured in 4 to 6 hours. All right, well, these are both a 1-to-1 ratio, the JB Quick and the regular JB Weld. So that's easy. Get a little bit squeezed out here. So, ladies and gentlemen, drop a comment below and let me know which one you think is going to outlast and how well you think each one is going to do. We are going to be rating these on an actual torque rating, so I'm going to get an actual bolt and we're going to torque it down to a torque spec. We're going to start at 5 foot-pounds and work our way up until one of them fatigues and fails. Now, we're going to do the JB Quick first because it is obviously quick and going to set up a lot faster than the regular JB Weld. And for those of you wondering, I am in fact using two different mixers. Well, in my case, they are knives. But I am using two different knives for this because I don't want to cross-contaminate anything and I want to make sure that I get this done very nicely. Probably should have used more, but you'll have that on those big jobs. Bottom coat, and I am going to try to line this up with the square that's still kind of there, but we'll see how that goes. So we're going to get just a little bit more mixed up, and we're going to get that coated up just a little bit better because I don't quite like that. But I guess who's really counting? That means we're going to have to use more of that too, so oh well. You don't know until you know, right? And there is JB Quick, ready to go. Now, I do want to give you guys a little story on where I kind of got this idea from. So, a long time ago, I used to have a Honda Civic Del Sol. Most people just call them Del Sols. But, anyways, I actually snapped the starter ear off of that car. Don't ask me how I did it, because I really couldn't tell you. But, I used JB Weld to put that ear back on that starter, and that thing worked for as long as I can remember. I think it worked up until I sold the car. I don't remember buying a new starter for it ever. So I just thought, what are the limits to JB Weld? If I had a broken ratchet and I was in an absolute pinch and needed to fix something, could I potentially use JB Weld as a solution for that? So same deal as before, we're going to line up the square on the square. So immediately off the bat, the JB Weld itself seems to be thicker than the JB Quick. And what I mean by thicker is I mean less malleable. It's not as easy to spread, and it kind of, I think that it's going to have more rigidity to it after it's actually hardened. I think that it has more mass in its current state, it almost seems. And I definitely have higher hopes for the actual JB Weld. Like I said before, which is kind of obvious because the JB Weld is rated for more strength. So, we'll see you guys in 24 hours after we get both of these things cured and hardened and ready for their test. So, with that being said, thank you guys for watching so far. I really hope that you enjoy the video, and let me know right now, drop a comment below and let me know what you guys think. Are we gonna reach 60 foot-pounds? Are we gonna reach 300 foot-pounds? It might not even get past 5 foot-pounds. We just don't know until we know. So, like I said, we're gonna let that cure overnight, 24 hours later, and it's gonna feel like nothing but 1, 2, and 3. What's going on, everyone? We are back again today in the garage, and it has been a full 24 hours since we have first set up our JB Weld and JB Quick Weld for our ratchets. So, I'm super excited to try this. I still don't have any clue what kind of result we're going to come up with, but I'm hoping that we can at least get like 50 or 60 foot-pounds out of the JB Weld. We might be surprised. It might go strong. This might be more strong than the original ratchet was. You know, I mean, these are just Pittsburgh Harbor Freight ratchets. So shout out to Harbor Freight for being junk. No offense. Some of their products are good. Pittsburgh is not where it's at. Not in my opinion anyways. So without further ado, let's get you guys set back up. We're gonna get the ratchets set up, which, like I said, 24 hours later, they are good to go. We got the JB Quick, remember the gold, and we got the JB Regular, remember the silver. So, I'm gonna get you guys set up on the smaller tripod and pointed at the vise, and we're gonna get some bolts rigged up in here, and we're going to torque them down with an some kind of nut or something. We're gonna torque something onto the bolt, and then we're going to see just how easily it is to remove with these ratchets, and if they even hold up. So, let's get into that. Okay, everyone, have no fear, the new bolt is here. I actually had to custom make this one because I don't have a freaking 16mm bolt anywhere in this whole garage. So this one is fresh off the grinder, and it fits, kinda. It fits. So, same deal. So we're gonna torque it to 5 foot-pounds, and then we're gonna see what happens. Okay, we bottomed out, and there's 5 foot-pounds. Okay. All right. Test number 2, or attempt number 2. Let's see, can the regular JB Weld ratchet break this thing loose? 5 foot-pounds. No problem. Literally no problem at all. All right, let's snug it back up and try the quick weld. Five. Quick weld. No problem for that one either. So now we're gonna double it and move it up to 10 foot-pounds. Okay, 10 foot-pounds, here we go. There's 10. JB Weld Original, 10 foot-pounds. No problem. All right, we're gonna tighten that back up, 10 foot-pounds. Okay, torqued. JB Quick. 10 foot-pounds. No problem once again. Okay. Looks like we're moving up to 20 foot-pounds, which I unfortunately cannot do with this ratchet, so I'm gonna have to get another one. I'll be back with you guys in 1 second. Well, unfortunately, I don't have a torque wrench that does 20 foot-pounds, so we're just gonna have to bump it up to 50, and that's gonna be the true test. So, with that being said, 50 foot-pounds, here we go. See if this freaking thing will even work for 50 foot-pounds. I don't know. I might just strip the bolt out. 100% just strip the bolt out. Okay, so I finally found a 16mm bolt. And, well, it looks like we're gonna be using the old Polaris. So, the problem that I was having was every time I try to torque the bolt that I was using to 50 foot-pounds, we would get absolutely nowhere. So, here we go, 50 foot-pounds. I'm gonna loosen it and then retighten it because I already made sure that I could torque it to 50 foot-pounds. So, I know, you're not supposed to torque a bolt with a torque wrench, or loosen a bolt with a torque wrench, but guess what, I don't care. Okay, so, loosened up. And now let's tighten it up to 50 foot-pounds. There it is. 50 foot-pounds. We're gonna try the JB Quick first, because I'm curious to know if the JB Quick can do it. Well, unfortunately, since I chose a shallow socket, I unfortunately can't do the top, so we're gonna have to do the bottom, which I know isn't gonna work, but we're gonna try it anyways. So 50 foot-pounds, here we go. Broke right off. Well, I figured that one was gonna happen. That was the JB Quick, but let's see if the actual JB Weld can do it. 50 foot-pounds, here we go. JB Weld. Ooh, damn it. Okay, well, no big deal. Ugh. Just a little minor mishap there. Nothing too major. Unfortunately, like I figured was gonna happen, they both broke. I got a slight boo-boo, and we are still in the same boat as before. So, can you fix a broken ratchet with JB Weld? I think you can, as long as you're not doing anything too in-depth with it. If you have any kind of heavy-duty bolt that you need to break loose, absolutely not. But if you're just doing little small stuff like 1/4-inch bolts, things like that, small stuff, you probably could get away with it. Now, if you were in a pinch and you're out somewhere and your battery died and you needed to absolutely get your battery terminals off and the only thing that you had was JB Quick, that would probably work because, like I said, this was good for 20 foot-pounds. Or, I'm sorry, we couldn't do 20 foot-pounds. It was good for 10 foot-pounds, and then we jumped to 50. And to be honest with you, I think that this right here is actually more than 50 foot-pounds because I'm taking the bolt side off rather than the nut side. Now, if I could have done the nut side, probably would have worked. So we're gonna have to come back to this and redo this whole video again because I really need to figure this out because I'm curious. However, got a couple more ideas for you guys with the JB Weld thing because I am really curious to see how strong it can be. So I think my next video might be, can JB Weld fix a broken hammer? That one's gonna be in the works soon. You guys need to stay tuned for that. Please subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and let me know what you guys think. What would you have done differently? What kind of recommendations do you have? I know that I kind of sucked on the bolt aspect of things. That was my fault. But I also picked the absolute worst socket size to use for this. A 16 millimeter? What the hell was I thinking? Should have used like a 14 or something at least. 14 millimeter bolts are freaking everywhere. But a 16? Yeah, right. Good luck finding one of those. So, with that being said, thanks for watching today's video, guys. Really hope to see you on the next one. And make sure you subscribe for more. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Take it easy.